Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Welcome back to Whoa Bears Chat Now, the channel where we do not just talk about the Chicago Bears, we live and breathe every single thing that happens in and around this franchise, from the schedule release all the way through to January playoff football. And today we are doing something a little different. Today we are taking the temperature of the Bears fan base, because as that 2026 schedule gets dissected from every possible angle, the predictions are pouring in, the takes are flying, the boldness is off the charts, and frankly, some of what is being said out here in Bears Nation is making us stand up and pay attention, because when a passionate, knowledgeable, fired up Bears fan looks at this schedule and comes back with 13 wins and 4 losses, we have to stop everything we are doing and have a real conversation about whether that number is delusional, brilliant, or somewhere in the beautifully chaotic middle ground where the best sports predictions always live. 13-4 Bears Nation, that is the number on the table today. So let's dig into it, break it down game by game, challenge every assumption, celebrate every bold call, and figure out what this prediction tells us about where this Bears fan base genuinely believes this team is headed in 2026. Let's set the stage before we get into the week by week of it, because context is everything in this conversation. The 2026 Chicago Bears are walking into their season carrying expectations that this franchise has not felt in 2 decades. Ben Johnson completely changed the culture in year 1, turning a rebuilding project into an 11-win NFC North champion in his first season on the sideline. Caleb Williams entered his 3rd NFL season, having already engineered a playoff run that had the entire country talking about Chicago football again. The offense is loaded, the defense has room to grow, but also has the talent to be genuinely disruptive when it is clicking. And Ben Johnson himself is entering year 2 with an expanded playbook, a fully installed system, and a quarterback who has lived inside his offense long enough to start anticipating plays before they are even called. That is the foundation. Now let's talk about the 13-4 prediction and how it was built, because the reasoning behind it is just as interesting as the number itself. Week 1, Carolina on the road, and the take here is completely correct. This is a winnable opener, and Chicago should approach it with supreme confidence. The Bears have handled the Panthers comfortably in recent matchups, and Carolina, despite sneaking into the playoffs last year in a weak NFC South, is not a team that should scare a healthy, motivated Bear squad playing meaningful football for the first time in the new season. Road game? Sure, but Week 1 road games hit differently than December road games, because nobody has accumulated the wear and tear yet, nobody is banged up, and the energy of a season opener carries a team through moments that would be harder to navigate in November. Bears start 1-0, the season is alive. Week 2 at home against Minnesota, and this is where the prediction starts to get genuinely interesting. The Vikings are one of the wild card teams of this entire NFL season, and the instinct to take a win here while simultaneously acknowledging the difficulty of the matchup shows real football IQ. Kyler Murray, coming into Kevin O'Connell's system, is going to take time. New quarterback, new timing, new vocabulary, new everything, and the Bears are catching them in Week 2. Before any of that has had time to fully develop and gel. Add in the fact that Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator on the other sideline. And yes, Flores has historically given Caleb Williams problems. And this game is not a gimme by any stretch, but at home early in the year, with the Bears riding the momentum of a Week 1 road win, taking Chicago in this spot makes real sense. 2-0. Week 3 is where the first loss lands on this prediction, and honestly, the reasoning is sound enough to respect. Philadelphia Eagles, Monday Night Football, Soldier Field. The Bears beat Philly on the road last year in one of the signature wins of the entire season. But this is a new year, a new version of the Eagles offense, and Jalen Hurts, at any level of his game, is a dangerous, capable quarterback who can win football games in a variety of ways. The argument argument for a Bears loss here is not that Chicago is overmatched. They are absolutely not. It is that these kinds of primetime games between two legitimate NFC contenders can go either direction on any given night, and something as simple as a bad turnover, a missed third down conversion, or a lucky bounce can flip the outcome. Taking the Eagles here as a loss is the honest, realistic call. 2-1 through 3 weeks. Then the Jets in Week 4, and yes, we are moving right past this one because there is simply not much to discuss. The New York Jets are still finding their identity. The Bears are at home, healthy, and should be rolling. 4-1 if they sweep the first 4 home games, but the record after the Packers' loss at Lambeau in Week 5 makes this prediction take its first real, bold turn because the call here is not to drop the Packers game at Green Bay, it is to win it. And here is where things get controversial because this is the most aggressively optimistic call on the entire schedule. Picking the Bears to go into Lambeau Field and beat Green Bay in Week 5 is a stance that not everyone is willing to take. The history is not kind. The environment is not comfortable. The Packers at home have been a problem for this franchise for years, with only a single road win at Lambeau in a decade-long stretch, but the counter-argument is real and it deserves to be heard. This is a different Bears team. This is a different coaching staff. This is a different Caleb Williams than the one who has faced the Packers in previous seasons. And this is a Bears offense that put up points against Green Bay at the end of last season in the moments that mattered most. The vision of Caleb Williams driving down the field in the fourth quarter at Lambeau, engineering a late game win with the crowd in stunned silence is not a fantasy. It is something this quarterback is fully capable of. Bold call, brave call, and honestly, we love the energy. Atlanta in Week 6 is a confident win for the Bears on the road in a game where Chicago has a clear overall talent advantage, and the reasoning here is strong. Southern teams, warmer weather cities, opponents who do not have the frontline talent to match up with what Ben Johnson is deploying on offense. The Falcons fit the profile of a team the Bears should handle on the road. 6-0 if the Packers pick comes through. 5-1 in the more conservative version. Either way, Chicago is rolling, heading into the most dramatic stretch of the entire schedule. And now comes the primetime gauntlet. 3 straight weeks, Patriots, Seahawks, Buccaneers, 2 Super Bowl teams from last season sandwiching a Sunday night home game. This is the stretch that defines seasons, and the prediction splits these 3 games in the most interesting way possible. The Patriots on Thursday night at home goes as a loss in this scenario, with Drake May balling out on the Bears defense and Caleb Williams having one of those nights where nothing quite comes together cleanly. The argument for taking the loss here actually has merit. Thursday night games on a short week are volatile regardless of which teams are playing. The Patriots are the defending AFC champions, which means their talent level is legitimately elite, and Drake May's sophomore season was arguably the best of any quarterback from the 2024 draft class. Giving them this game is not cowardice. It is honestly just respecting what that roster is capable of doing. But then, and this is the genuinely bold call, the Bears win in Seattle Monday Night Football at the reigning Super Bowl champions in one of the loudest buildings in the NFL on one of the biggest stages the league has to offer. The case for pulling this off is built on a few important factors. The Bears come off a Thursday night game and have extra days to prepare for Seattle, which means Ben Johnson and his staff are going to have more time to game plan against Mike McDonald's defense than any opponent that has faced the Seahawks all season. Caleb Williams is going to be rested, sharp, and ready, and the Bears offense, when it is operating at full capacity, is capable of putting points on any defense in the league. Is this a high difficulty pick? Yes. Is it impossible? Not even close. 7-2 if this comes through, although the more conservative record prediction has this as a loss and keeps the Bears at 6-2 heading into the bye. Tampa Bay at home on Sunday night is a win. The Saints are handled after the bye week, and then comes the most explosive take on the entire prediction, the Thanksgiving game at Detroit. The argument that the Bears win on Thanksgiving in Detroit is genuinely bold, and the emotional backbone of it is real. The memory of that catastrophic Thanksgiving loss to the Lions under the previous coaching staff, the timeout that was not called, the drive that should not have happened, the defeat that still hurts when you think about it too long. That pain has been sitting in the gut of this fan base for over a year, and now Chicago gets the chance to walk back into that building on the same holiday and answer it. The revenge narrative is powerful. The Bears also have a decent historical record on Thanksgiving overall, which makes the momentum of this argument feel even more grounded. But let's be real for a moment. Detroit is ferocious at home. They are ferocious in their dome. And the Thanksgiving game is a short week road trip that even the most optimistic schedule analysts have labeled the hardest game on the entire 2026 slate. Picking the Bears to win here is the kind of take that could make you look like an absolute prophet or leave you absolutely stunned come late November. But the beauty of Bears Chat Now is that we celebrate this kind of boldness. We love a fan who looks at the hardest game on the schedule and says we are winning it anyway. Jaguars at home in Week 13, Bears win. Dolphins in Miami in Week 14, Bears win. And the division is essentially clinched right there in Week 14 against Miami, according to this prediction, which sets up the final stretch as a victory lap with playoff seeding implications rather than a desperate fight for postseason positioning. Then the Bills at Buffalo in Week 15, and this is where the prediction correctly acknowledges reality. Josh Allen, new stadium, primetime Saturday night, December football in Western New York. The Bears take the loss. It stings. It always stings against a team like Buffalo. But the division is already wrapped up, and the energy immediately pivots to what comes next. Christmas Day, Green Bay Packers, Soldier Field, and this is the call that every single person reading this already knew was coming and absolutely cannot wait for. The Bears sweep the Packers in 2026, both games, Lambeau in September and Soldier Field on Christmas morning. The crowd is going to be unlike anything Chicago has experienced in years. The atmosphere is going to be electric in a way that only this rivalry on this holiday in this stadium can produce. Caleb Williams is going to be locked in. Ben Johnson is going to have something dialed up that nobody has seen before, and the Packers are going home for Christmas with a loss that is going to echo through the offseason. Week 17 against the Lions at home goes as a close loss in this prediction, a tight, hard-fought game where the Lions get a measure of revenge for the Thanksgiving embarrassment. And then Week 18 in Minnesota is a win for the Bears, a sweep of the Vikings on the season, and a final record that comes out to 13-4. 13-4. Let's sit with that number for a second because it genuinely changes the conversation around this team's ceiling. 13 wins in the regular season would make the 2026 Chicago Bears one of the best teams in the entire NFC. It would almost certainly earn a top 2 seed in the conference, which means a first-round bye and home field advantage deep into the playoffs. It would put Caleb Williams in the MVP conversation in a way that nobody could ignore or dismiss. It would cement Ben Johnson as not just a great year one story, but a legitimate dynasty builder in the early stages of something special. And it would give Bears Nation the kind of January football that this fan base has been dreaming about for the better part of 2 decades. Is 13-4 realistic? The honest answer is that it requires several things to break right that might not break right. It requires the win at Lambeau, which history suggests is never easy. It requires the win in Seattle against a Super Bowl champion. It requires the Thanksgiving victory in a dome against a Lions team that plays their best football at home. It requires the defense to be better than recent seasons. It requires Caleb Williams to take the full leap that everyone is expecting and demanding. But here's the thing about this Bears team and this Bears moment. Impossible things have been happening in Chicago football lately. The first playoff win in 15 years happened. The comeback that nobody saw coming happened. The culture change that seemed like a pipe dream when Ben Johnson was hired happened in year one. This team has a habit of making believers out of skeptics. And when you look at the schedule advantages hidden beneath the brutal strength of schedule numbers, the plus 15 net rest advantage, the 0 bye-week disadvantage games, the minimal travel, the home-heavy final stretch, the framework for a 13-win season is not as far-fetched as it might look on the surface. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, a franchise that finally has its foundation right. Soldier Field, rocking on Christmas Day. The NFC North trophy held up for the second straight year. A home playoff game in January, under the lights with the entire country watching. This is what is possible. This is what is on the table, and Bears Nation is not just hoping for it anymore. They are predicting it, owning it, and daring the universe to prove them wrong. Now it is your turn. Get into that comment section right now and give me your 2026 Chicago Bears record prediction. Are you riding with 13-4? Are you a little more conservative at 11 or 12 wins? Or are you an absolute maniac who is going 17? And I want to hear from you too. Drop the number, drop the reason, and let's build this community prediction together. Hit that like button right now if this breakdown fired you up, because every single like tells YouTube that the Bears fan base is loud, proud, and ready for football, and this channel needs that signal to keep growing. Subscribe to Bears Chat now if you are not already locked in. Turn on that notification bell and hit all so you never miss a single video, a single live stream, or a single breaking news update between now and the time Caleb Williams takes his first snap in Carolina on September 13th. We have got this entire off-season covered for you. Every depth chart move, every training camp battle, every injury report, every bold prediction, every wild take, all of it right here, all summer long, building toward what is going to be the most exciting Chicago Bears season in a generation. Bear down. Let's go get 13.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.